Hello, hello, good evening, good night, good morning. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
Doing okay.
Doing okay? I don't like the sound of that.
I'm
Hmm?
just I'm just tired.
That's fair. I get it.
I'm tired,
I get
but
it.
I'm here. I'm
The week's almost
alive,
done. We're almost there.
sort of.
Sort of,
Yeah.
sort of. So I didn't realize Top Gun was coming back.
Yeah. Actually, it looks pretty good. The
It does. I saw like a ad or an ad on YouTube the other day. I was like, oh, might have to check that out.
Sorry, I'm like struggling here.
It's okay.
Yeah, no, I saw the preview for it, and I follow one of the actors. He's a newer actor. Can't remember his
Okay.
name right now, but he's in the new movie. Apparently, he's in 2 projects with Tom Cruise, so pretty interesting.
All right.
It looks pretty good. Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind watching it at some point.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be rushing to the theaters to watch
Yeah.
it,
No. No.
but yeah.
Neither will I. I hear Colin Kaepernick is playing, possibly playing for the Raiders.
You sent something about that, but I haven't seen anything or heard much
Yeah,
on that. So
it might be a thing. He might get signed. So
He's had a bunch of almost signs.
that's
yeah,
true.
it's very true.
Like, did he have a good workout with the team? I didn't hear anything about it.
It
Yeah.
seems like he did.
Okay.
So I think we'll find out by Friday.
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yep. Are you guys? Would you guys be excited to see him back on the field? Or are you just like, meh?
If he can still play.
Mm,
I think he probably can still
still
do a
has it?
thing. I
Yeah,
still
we'll
think he
see.
can still do a thing, but
He
Yeah,
could throw. He
he
wasn't
can.
just a runner. He could throw. So
Yeah.
yeah. Guess we'll have to wait and see.
Do you think if Michael Vick wanted to come back, that'd be a thing?
he already did come back after his thing.
Did he?
Yeah, he had some good years.
Forgot about it. All right.
Yeah, he came back.
He still can play. So he might.
Well, he's old now. Like in
He's old now,
quarterback
but
years, he's old. And that was
he's
the
old.
problem when he came back. Like his style of play, he did have a good arm, not necessarily
Hmm.
the most accurate arm, but he had a strong arm.
Yeah.
And um, he came back and he did well. But the style of play he has was on the ground. Like he was just that fast, like rushing quarterback.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
but when you start getting older, like rushing quarterbacks get tackled, and getting tackled a lot hurts, and you don't bounce back the same when you're 35, like when you're 30. That's why Tom Brady can play so long. He don't run
Right.
nowhere.
That's true.
He might
He
run a
likes the
few
pocket.
steps and then slide. He's not trying
Yeah.
to get tackled.
Yeah.
He was never fast. He was never fast. He was never a runner. But if you're
That's
not
true.
running and you have a decent offensive line, then you can play for a long time.
Hmm.
But if you're a running quarterback, injuries will take you out.
Oh, for sure.
Injuries
sure.
will always take you out.
Yeah. Sad to say. Yeah. Did you guys hear about the CFL striking or may go on strike on Thursday, tomorrow?
I thought they came to
Have
an
not
agreement.
have not
They
heard
didn't like the
anything.
agreement, so they're going back to the drawing board.
Huh.
Like
I feel like I've been living under a
that,
rock.
honestly, no offense to the CFL, but that's like literally doormen going on strike. Like
Dead.
Oh my gosh.
like these guys, I wouldn't like. I'm sure owners are exploiting people, but it's not the NFL. Like the margins are very different.
True that.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's more of they want more Canadian players starting than Americans. I think that's pretty much the the deal right now. So,
but to me,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a dumb reason.
So I'm gonna leave
because I'm like, if you put me on your team because I'm a good player, why does it
That's
matter if
whack.
I'm from the States or Canada? We want to win. You want to win. If you're
I'm
allowing
just
these
gonna
people
leave
to
my
be a part of your
Ferrari in
team,
the driveway and ride my bike because I've had my bike for longer.
yeah, exactly.
It's not to say, but there are good Canadian athletes. But check this out:
This
that
ain't
Canadian
Canadian,
athlete is
we're
going to
not-
go to the NFL if he has the chance.
Yeah, exactly.
exactly.
So that doesn't make any sense. That's
Yeah.
that's like any sport.
I don't know any guy that's some top recruit and he's like, you know what? I'm going and playing in the CFL. That'd be nice.
Right. Yeah, that's that. If I don't know.
We'll see what
I don't know if
happens.
that's the real reason, but that's interesting. If it
Yeah.
is, doesn't really make any sense.
We'll see what happens.
Work
So,
on your
on that-
game and get better.
Oh.
I'm just saying, if that is one of the reasons, to me, that's not a reason to strike.
Yeah. They are getting paid
That's
more.
the owners that want to strike them.
They are getting paid more though. So
No, but not the owners wanting to strike, but it's likely. Like who
Like
would
the
be
owners of the
advocating for
like
that?
the owners of the teams want more Canadian players to be like. I don't.
No, I'm trying to think. Who would that be? That would just be their players' association or something like that.
yeah, it's a
Like, that can't be
CFLPA.
it.
But that doesn't make
That
sense.
can't be it.
It's the CFLPA. If you look at the thing, it says CFLPA going on strike on Thursday.
Well, that's fine, but like if it's gonna be one of their things is about Canadian players
Yeah.
and starting, like
And why are you recruiting people from elsewhere or like?
Well, they have
That's
to
the
have a
reason for-
certain
that's the
amount of
reason- That's the reason
Americans.
for camps and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
if you're doing better at the camp, then
like I actually
starting.
want to support the CFL. I think it's a great game. I think the
Mhm.
CFL brand of football is a good brand of football. But
Yeah.
like I do not want to hear them striking. Let's say like Major League Baseball strike. So
yeah, because they have like I don't know.
but the
More
thing is
Asian players.
their gate is different. And the way that those teams are tied into local businesses, the teams will be fine. They almost don't
Yeah.
care about the fans. But the CFL,
That's
and
true.
the same thing with the NBA, NFL. They have the luxury of not caring about the fans because, like, people, it's its own industry. You know,
Yeah.
even if they're not playing games, you do make money from the gate, but the players suffer more than the owners
Mhm.
because they're not. The local. Imagine if you're in Dallas. Like football's a religion. Do you know
Yep.
the United States football's a religion, right?
With it. Yeah.
So the players could strike, and they could say, "Hey, look at the owners," and everyone will look at the owners and be like, "You bastards! Just do what you have to do. Stop being greedy." They know these guys are billionaires,
Mhm.
but I don't know how many billionaires own CFL teams.
True.
True.
You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
like you have to when a league like that, you have to think of the fans. And then
100%.
you can't put it in a place where people can just start being like, they haven't been around for a while. Because and especially after COVID, people
Oh, yeah.
like, did you miss them?
I
The
mean,
only time most people care is if you're making a playoff push. Because, it's just a good thing for the city. It's a good thing for local businesses. It's a good thing.
Oilers.
But, like, the
Yeah.
CFL can't be messing around and
Yeah.
alienating fans because they'll be like, oh, all right, guess I don't have you. When does the NFL season start again?
Right.
Or they'll watch hockey.
yeah. Well, the
Yeah.
CFL, their first game is on either the 11th or the 18th here in Edmonton. So,
Trust me, they'll be back. Trust me.
oh yeah, for sure.
Well, I
For
guess
sure.
we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one.
Yep. Well, let's get started. Let's welcome everyone to Let's Be Real. I am your host, Danielle George, along with your co-host, Mr. Noel and Kiki. On this show, we talk about hot topics, seems like, relationships, and anything in between. So the show's about you, about us. We want you guys throughout the show to comment, questions, all that fun stuff. So let's get ready to be real. I'm about to get real quick.
Okay.
So I don't know if you guys heard the shooting recently in Texas. 19 students or children were shot along with 2 adults. I'm not going to name the shooter because it's not worth mentioning his name. 18-year-olds came into the school and started shooting. It seems like he was doing it because he was getting bullied. That seems to be the thing. I don't know if that's true, but what are your thoughts on the gun laws in the States and Texas mainly? Because the only reason why I'm saying that is because I looked at the stats, school shootings from 2009, and Mexico had 8, South Africa had 6, India had 5, Canada had 2, France had 2, Russia, Germany, Greece, and China only had 1. Spain, Australia, Switzerland, Japan, Netherlands, Argentina, and United Kingdom all had 0. And United States had a whopping 288 school shootings since 2009. So what do you think do you think they should be changing the gun laws in some way? Do you think it's frustrating because you can't send your kids to school knowing that they'll come back. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a safe, like, nowhere, you can't be safe anywhere anymore.
Kiki?
Sorry, I had to start it off there.
No, that's
upsetting.
That's okay.
I know I unloaded a lot to you guys on there, but
I'm just trying to think which angle of the situation I want to dive into first. In terms of laws, like, I'll be honest, like, personally, I don't want to talk too much on the law aspect of things, just because my knowledge is quite minimal. Like, I've heard different opinions and different things from other people, but I haven't done enough personal research about particular laws, especially in different states and areas of the United States. But obviously there needs to be a change, and I know that sounds cliche and everyone's saying that, that's everyone's opinion, but obviously nothing's being done. You just gave some stats from over a decade ago,
pretty much.
And it's they obviously have a problem in the United States in terms of their gun laws. And the thing is, it's easy to sit here and say, yes, there needs to be a change, but
how do we change it?
Exactly. Because majority of the country, has stated that they would like to see some sort of change with this issue, with this reoccurring issue. The rest of the world, who's audience to this problem, everyone's saying there needs to be a change, but the question is, like, where does it start? Obviously it has to start, I think, from like a government level. There needs to be certain votes and certain things put in. A lot of people are talking about, like, background checks for people who are purchasing guns. That seems to be one of the biggest issues, is, there's not enough, like, background checks being done with people who are obtaining these weapons. And, there'll always be something to combat that, because, people say, oh, we got to change background laws for gun possessions. But then it's like, people have been obtaining weapons and guns, for a number of years in other ways. They have other means of obtaining these things. So it's, to me, one of the issues too is diving into the mental health aspect, and
Yeah.
that's a little, I feel like that's even harder than doing voting on a law or changing the laws, because even if there's a child who doesn't, or someone who doesn't necessarily pass the background check for gun possession, people have other ways of obtaining things. And to me, if someone wants to find a gun to go out and cause harm to others, I feel like, yeah, that is one way to prevent it. But if they really want to go that route, they're going to find some other way to do that, whether it's someone that they live with, or they're going to buy it under the table.
Yeah.
So I feel like the other big issue too is, why do people feel like that is their coping mechanism, or that is their solution to things? So there's a lot of different factors at play here. But yeah, what are your guys' thoughts?
I just wanted to touch on something that you said earlier with the background checks. There is a law that is sitting in the offices of the government. It's called HR 8 that 50, I can't even think of the word right now, senators need to vote on. And it's been sitting there since last year. Yeah. So it's just like, what are they waiting on? You know what I mean? Tim? Sorry, I just wanted to put that in there.
I think that I gotta kind of disagree with Kiki a bit. In regards to the laws, I think the law is the biggest part. If firearms are prohibited, right. Yes, you can go and get them, but there's a really big difference between going to Gun Mart and as soon as you're over 18 and just buying a weapon,
right,
and buying ammunition with nobody batting an eye. Like, you're buying, like, we can't even buy I can't even buy firecrackers in Edmonton that easy. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, well, I know where I could get a gun, but, like, do you know how many hoops you have to jump through to go and get it? And a lot of these little punks, these little entitled, privileged little idiots that would go and do this, whatever their mental, like, I don't care about their mental state. I really don't. Not after the fact. There's a lot of work that has to be done, and that had to have started a long time ago. So that's not the business right now. My thing is, I don't think the government can do much about crazy, right? But they could do what crazy might have access to. Do you know what I mean? We really think that I don't think we would think that the people are more crazy in Canada than they are or more crazy in the United States than they are in Canada.
Right.
But let's just say this. Now, if crazy could, again, go down to Gun Mart, or crazy would have to go to somebody and have at least, like, people would look at him and go, what the heck do you want that for?
Right.
You know, maybe they'll go to the school and throw some stones. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like, a lot of the time, it's not the people with illegal access to guns aren't the ones shooting up the schools.
Very true.
Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of stats on gun violence in the United States. And, people try to mask it as black on black crime, but really it's just criminal on criminal crime. And so here's one of the biggest things about Canada versus the United States, and really the United States versus everyone. In the United States, it's a part of their constitution that owning a gun is a literal right. Yeah. It's a right. You have a right to a firearm.
To bear arms, yeah.
So imagine, it's just in the psyche of the people. Like, just think about when you get unhinged. Like, I'm surprised there isn't even more. I'm surprised there isn't even, like, for real, imagine. Imagine you had maybe not you guys, and actually not even me, but there's somebody out there that they know they can go to Gun Mart for a few $100 and get a gun, and now they become the most powerful person within a kilometer. They you know what I mean? The person that was cussing you out yesterday ain't cussing you today when you're holding that thing. It is the equalizer. And then anybody could just walk in and get it. You know, I forgot what comedian it was, but he's like, most of us have this voice that says, I wouldn't do that shit if I were you. But there's some folks who don't.
Yeah.
And then they go and do some heinous things. We need, they need to take the ease out of it. If they said he stole it from his father and went and shot up the school, one thing. But if they said he went on his 18th birthday and bought 2 weapons and bought ammunition and like, and like, I don't know if you guys heard Steve Kerr's rant.
Yep.
Yeah.
And as the HR 8 bill, to think that there's some guys that are like, yo, listen, I'm not trying to lose my seat. I don't want to have a normal job. So you know what? Let me side with these nutcases.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys ever watched Bowling for Columbine by that Michael Moore film. That was a kabillion years ago. He put that documentary / movie out, and he showed the NRA. Them kids just got killed by the next couple of days in my cold, dead hands. They're holding up their rifles and their guns. But there were no automatic rifles when this, you know, these guys, if you had a gun, you put in your ammunition, you take your stick, and you stuff it down in the thing. You might kill one person every 20 minutes.
Yeah.
My dad always would say, these people know that they're killing humans? What do you need that big kind of gun for? That thing could, a person could slip and fall and hit their head and die. And you have these guns that are sending out how many bullets, and like automatic, blah, blah, blah. And then anybody, if you have the money, can go and buy one.
Yeah.
That has to change, like, period.
Yeah.
You know, one of my friends said, listen, their whole family's dead. She said, if your kid come and you do that, and I get that news that my son, because some idiot decided to go into a school, some nutcase, and you didn't see any signs?
Yeah.
You sitting there, well, maybe his grandmother saw some signs because apparently he posted about shooting her.
Yeah. I think he did shoot her.
Someone said that he did shoot her.
I don't know if she's dead, but
that's true, but
yeah. And I guess I don't know if this is true or not, but I saw he also messaged one of his friends, just stating, "I have a secret for you. You'll find out tomorrow morning what's going to happen." It's, yeah. I don't.
Absolutely dreadful.
Yeah. And I read I was just kind of doing a bit of research in Texas on September 1st, 2021, you're able to carry a weapon without a license.
That's right. You can carry a weapon without a license.
Yeah.
Unless you've been previously denied.
Yeah.
So,
you've been
maybe
in jail for something or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some reason. You have to be at least 21 years old, not have a prior felony conviction.
Yeah. This
is Texas.
Yeah.
Not have a recent conviction. Not be subject to any unexpired protective order. Not be restricted from possessing a firearm. And not be intoxicated. That's their rules.
Yeah.
That's their rules. So, there's certain things, like, I don't want to hear about somebody's prior history of violence. You know, by the time that they go and they shoot up the school. That doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it does. Maybe, like, but what indication, what would somebody do that would let you know that they might potentially go to an elementary school and kill kids unless they said that? So everyone talk about prior. Well, he didn't have any priors. Who cares if he had any priors?
Exactly.
The guy went out in a blaze. You know, he like, But someone that is that way should be wandering the streets talking to themselves, not have access to go into a store and buy enough to slaughter all these people.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hear about, well, maybe the teacher should have guns. No. Make it so that nobody, make it so people just can't have guns like that.
Yeah.
Make it so you have to go and you had to, jack some criminals to get their guns. Make it so, you'd have to go and you had to pick your dad's lock. And so now your father or whoever, or your uncle, whoever has guns, has to be double careful about what they already have. Because if it gets in the hands of somebody who's unhinged, they will be liable for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it should go, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You could be up in Canada, you could be a normal person. Do you know in Canada, you have to wait, after you file your thing, you have to wait 28 days.
Mm-hmm.
28 days.
Yeah.
That's what you have to wait. That's just a period to wait.
Mm-hmm.
For just arbitrarily, 28 days. Oh, you applied? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in case. It's like if you're planning to do something with this, just know it's not happening anytime soon.
Exactly.
Whereas the guy could be like, you know what? F everybody. I'm going to go buy a gun and I'm going to go do this.
Mm-hmm. And literally go around a corner, to a corner store and just buy a gun and do what you need to do. Oh, it's upsetting. Something needs to be done. What needs to happen for them to think maybe we should do something? What needs to happen?
Wasn't enough, right? Columbine wasn't enough.
Guess not.
They blamed it on video games. Oh, okay. They blamed it on video games.
Yeah.
10 days ago, all the black folk.
Mm-hmm. And
now
2 days before that,
Hispanic last names. Maybe it won't even matter.
Yeah, and 2 days before that, it was an Asian community church that got shot up. So it's like.
And then there's the other part.
In less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Do you know that this kid, I guess he was already being pursued by the police?
Are you serious?
He was already being pursued at that, and then he ended up at this school, and then they didn't shoot him. This is my understanding of what I watched and what I read.
Right.
But they didn't, you know what I mean? He had already confronted the police. And then, so I'm just like, wait a minute now. If that was a black guy, he was dead.
On site.
He's dead. So, do you know what I mean? This kid's Hispanic, but I guess he wasn't dark enough for the lethal force that they use on people that are completely unarmed. He had already shot his grandmother in the face.
Mm-hmm.
He'd already shot her when they approached him. Okay. Honestly. Like Greg said earlier, yes, when all the black folk go and buy their guns, watch the thing change.
Of course.
Anyways.
Yeah, let's hope something changes soon, because
this is real life,
Yeah. Where you literally can't go anywhere.
And it's not to say that Canadians don't have guns. Canadians have guns.
Oh. They do.
But so to circle back to mental health, if you guys watch The Wire, when they were talking about going into the schools to try and curb the violence, they were trying to figure out what age groups what age groups that they could go in and work with. And they're talking about, when they're in high school, it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
The intervention needs to be it was if those kids were a grade 8 age, they were 13 and they were 14. And that's kind of the age that they decided to do, because there was time still. And I say that just to say that there has to be like a reprogramming of people and then in their minds in places that have this kind of violence. And it's like you almost, there needs to be mental health resources for those like past a certain point, like for the adults or whatever, and for the school. But the prevention and the mindset shift happens when they're young. You know, that happens when they're young.
So just, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Just going back to mental health. Do you think the parents should start having that conversation with their kids? Should the school start something? Should it be a community thing? Like, where should that start?
That starts with, I believe because you can talk about the parents all you want, but the school's curriculum is something that everybody can be modified,
right,
and can be enforced. You know, then and you get in there. But it would help that at home that people are talking about it. But you know what? Not everybody goes and shoots up schools. So do you know what I mean? Like, what kind of dysfunction had to already be there for this to be that option? Kind of similar to what Kiki said. Like, we can't ignore that part. But I think first we need the legislation to make sure that people don't have the tools, and then we need to have the support there so people have the tools for mental health. You know. Like
yeah.
Well, the only real cure in the USA is to remove money from politics, make it impossible for politicians to take bribes. I am sorry, campaign donations from special interest groups and companies.
Yeah.
The only problem with that is that it's impossible. Like, do you know where there are places like this? Because I hear what you're saying. Special interest groups, the lobbyists, those guys are serious players.
Yeah.
It's serious. Like, these lobbyists, they make money. The lobbyists make more money than the politicians, because they work for the United Tobacco Group. They work for the NRA. They work for all these different industries, and they have money. They have money to line the pockets of the politicians.
Yeah. Did you guys
would love to know, like, how do you remove money from politics?
Yeah. Did you guys see the I don't even say apology, but like the condolence letter from the NRA?
No,
I didn't. So
they're pretty much just saying, we are praying for the people that have lost their loved ones. Something about he shouldn't have had a gun, or it was something along those lines, but it just felt like they were rooting for him, but also feeling sorry at the same time that he got caught. You know what it was like a mixed message. If I had it up, I would read it, but it just got me upset. If I find it, I'll send it to you guys. But
the NRA is going to do what they have to do to absolve themselves.
Yeah.
From let's say responsibility, saying that changing the laws won't change this.
Yeah, it's pretty much what it said.
People sat back and used the whole black on black crime thing as the reason to not. They're saying all the gun violence is all those numbers are crazy because of black people.
Yeah,
and a lot of people sat there and took it. But gun violence related to crime, to organized crime or at least gangs, it doesn't usually get to, when I say usually, it doesn't really get to the community level.
Right.
You know what I mean? A gang was never going to would be responsible for 19 or 21 deaths in Uvalde or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
That wasn't happening.
Definitely not.
Yeah. The special interest groups, the super PACs, the major corps spend billions to keep politicians from making policy for the people.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that change will happen sooner than we hope.
Right.
We're gonna change it a bit. I don't know if you guys heard that small or monkeypox is going around.
Yeah.
Worldwide, there's 131 cases, and I believe 2 are in Canada. One's in
Probably
Montreal and Toronto, I believe, or Ontario. And you have to quarantine for 21 days.
It's okay. That'll change, just like COVID did.
Nah, listen, COVID, you can't see COVID.
COVID where?
That's true.
COVID who?
You can't see COVID, but if you see somebody
That's a
walking
good
around
point.
and they look like what's when the gremlins got water on them and they were gonna spawn more.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, you walking around like that? Trust me, you don't even have to ask them to. You don't even have to ask them to quarantine. They don't want to be seen because that's that's shame. Like you can
if
put on
I
a
saw
mask.
that on me, I'm like, ooh, yes.
Trust me.
You guys can't see me for a while.
Listen, you don't have to tell somebody about that.
Oh my goodness.
Do you know what I mean? Like, what kind of derelict situation are you in if you're going to be like broken out in boils and be like, yeah, I'm just going to go to Superstore today? What? No. I see someone wearing a balaclava and gloves and long sleeves in the summer. Trust me, I'm going to be pointing.
You know why?
I'm going to be pointing like it's the Bible. Unclean, unclean.
Just go the other way. Let's go the other way.
Goodness. Too funny. Hopefully he doesn't come here, like, because I want to enjoy my summer. So
on top of me being
that's an easy one though,
tired, on top of me being physically tired, I am just mentally tired. Like, I know these are like super important issues and these are very relevant things, but just like seeing all this in like the last week has just been very
it's draining.
Like, you know what I mean?
I get it.
I saw a meme the other day with it was like COVID and it was like showing monkeypox like around the like, hey, this is your new home, like this is it's just crazy. It's just one thing after another, and
I'm literally like, what's next?
So wait now. Now what Greg said here. So we thinking that the monkeypox is a conspiracy as well?
Oh, yes, Lord. Just like COVID.
Why does he think that? Because it's just suddenly coming out of nowhere.
Where did it come from?
Well,
how the hell
to be honest, it's usually it is usually found, or there's more statistics pointing that it usually occurs more in the continent of Africa.
Oh, that because everyone will believe that. That's why.
Of course.
Right. But yeah, I don't know. Who knows? At this point, I'm just like Danny says, you don't want to become, what's the word? Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's not the word I was thinking of, but basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Desensitized. That's the word I was looking for. You don't want to become desensitized to it all, but like at this point, between all the crap that's happening, it's just like, what do we?
My thing is this, man. I don't care. Like, I don't care.
Everyone.
No, okay, wait. I didn't want to catch COVID. I believe COVID was very real.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I don't want to catch no monkeypox. I know what it's like to have really bad eczema. Mm-hmm. So this monkeypox, like, they could keep it. But what I'm saying I don't care is like, I don't care about
the conspiracies
how
and
it
stuff.
Came about.
Right. You just don't want it to be a thing, and you just don't want it to hinder our lives.
But here's the thing: if somebody's out there and they can create viruses and unleash them on the public to make money, there's nothing me or you can do. That is happening at such a high level. If you found out every single thing that there was to find out, you would probably end up dead. I really believe that. If this is at that level, if they have to have buy-in at the highest levels.
Did you guys see a clip of Bill Gates' TED Talk?
Thrown from years and years ago?
Yeah, how he was talking about the world is getting overpopulated. Don't be surprised if the world gets a whole bunch of viruses and does like the natural selection of killing people off. And we're going to make money by having a lot of vaccines and pills. And did anyone see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
what do you think?
This guy, first of all, this is Bill Gates. He's a freaking genius. He is a genius.
Yeah.
And he's not just a genius about computers. I've heard people say, yeah, he wants to kill people off. But I'm like, why would that benefit him? Like, he's saying, fine, the world is overpopulated. How would it benefit him if a bunch of people? Isn't that less customers?
Yeah.
I've never really thought much of that.
But don't forget, there's also that conspiracy where all those rich people are in a group where if they have pharmaceuticals out there, they're making money off of that. So there's that. That's
past my pay grade.
I guess so. Well, these guys, you know what? Greed knows no bounds. Because a guy like but these guys are already have more money than they can spend. So
exactly.
But again,
that's why I'm not saying that it's not true, but that's why it also wouldn't really make sense in theory, because like you said, they already have enough money that you wouldn't even be able to spend in your lifetime. So it's like, what would be the point? Like, is it just like some sick puppet game or something? Like,
I would not be surprised.
No, it's twisted.
Sure, but
obviously there are things out there, but I don't know. It just doesn't really make sense in theory.
Yeah.
Not saying that it can't.
It's possible. It fully is possible.
Yeah.
They're just puppeteers.
But yeah, I don't really spend a lot of time thinking about the conspiracies because you know what? When we find out the truth, or when the truth is found out, we likely won't be here.
Yeah.
Even
the
JFK assassination. Some of those things should have been. It's 50 years, and then they still have some of those documents that you can't see all. You can't get access to them.
The thing is,
it's been past the statute of limitations on holding some of that information. We saw the Martin Luther King stuff come out.
Of course. Well, of course we did.
We saw that come out.
Of course.
I'm not trying to say that there's some people at high levels doing some really heinous stuff. I won't say that. But I'm just saying at my level here, my thing is, okay, how do I get to tomorrow? How do I make sure that I do what's in my wheelhouse to do as it pertains to my family and my loved ones? I start thinking about, because as soon as we start getting to conspiracy, it's like it's out of our hands. I have nothing to do.
Well, I was gonna say, whether it's conspiracy or like you were presented with the truth, there's still nothing that we can do about it. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you're still, even if they were to hand you a document today and say, this is what's happening.
And then
what is really going to happen at that point?
So all the elected officials and all those people, they all are forced to resign, and so the new people that come in, they're not shills too.
Yeah, like it just, exactly. It's like, even if we were faced with and the thing is too, the vast majority, as much as people like to sit here and say, I want to know the truth, a lot of people can't handle the truth.
Exactly.
No, 100%.
Most people can't even handle the truth within their own little bubble. How are you gonna take on these bigger issues and bigger things that affects the entire world? You know what I mean? Or your entire country.
Yeah.
This is what
Most people don't have the mental capacity for that.
One of my favorite speakers said that we can get so caught up in this like pseudo moralism, and we start attacking these issues that are so far out of our realm.
Mm-hmm.
When what is in our control is our relationships, our relationship with our mother, our father, our sister, our brothers. You know, our education, the job, the the business that we should have started. You know, the endeavor that you should have done, but you don't want to take it on for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of focusing on is the earth flat? How about just putting your effort into the things that are in your wheelhouse, that are in your realm of responsibility? Because if more people are actually doing good and doing what's right in their little corner, I believe that everybody benefits. Everybody does. So we're going to go down and we're going to protest and we're going to do all these things and we leave and we go back. But you still ain't, you still haven't talked to your mom in 5 years. You still won't kick that. You won't kick that. You know what I mean? You still won't leave that bum. You still want this. You still want that. You still won't fix all that. So all the stuff that you're going to do and fix the world doesn't fix you right here where you are. You know? So it's like when it comes to the conspiracy stuff, I'm like, okay, I got to wear a mask. I got to do this. All right, cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to do what I have to do. Because I know one thing is for sure. Regardless if it happened because of some person ate bats or it happened in a lab, COVID, I saw COVID kill people. I saw COVID kill people that I know.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And likely, same thing with this monkeypox. It's going to screw somebody up that I may know. It's not, somebody that I know. So what do I got to do? Find out what I got to do? Cool.
Yeah.
And if there's truth that I find out to be truth, I'll share that truth. But other than that, that's my take.
It's interesting being a human. I mean, it's always been interesting being a human, but these days, whoosh.
Right?
It's funny you say that because there's this meme that I've been seeing. Like, it's like 100 years ago, you would have to be fighting for food. And then the camera goes on to like a dog lying in bed with a blanket and a pillow.
Oh my God.
But life is getting, like, when it comes to for some domestic animals, life is getting really good.
Right.
Like, really good. But then for us, with everything, all the advancements and all this stuff, then again, hey, we haven't had a world war like that. We haven't had that. So things are still, even with this, we do know that crime is still trending down slowly. We're not worried. Like, are we ever worried about, somebody invading Canada and dealing with the things that people that were like an actual fear 100 years ago? But then again, wait a minute. I'm talking to Caribbean people. 100 years ago, everything could have been on fire and we wouldn't have known.
Exactly.
But hey, I've seen guys, I listen to some guys that are, as I say this, I do listen to guys that are big on conspiracy. And there was a guy before Russia invaded, he was just like, if you have any sense, you will pick up and leave the westernized countries. That's his take. He's like, move to a poorer country where the government does not have ultimate control. Because his take was that if you look at what happened in New Zealand with COVID, how they literally, like, you couldn't even be away from your house 5 kilometers. They had pure control. And he was like, the Western countries are going this way. And that's what they eventually want. So his take, imagine this guy moved to the Ukraine.
Are you serious?
He moved to the Ukraine, and then he ended up shutting down his YouTube because YouTube kept messing with his stuff.
Right.
So now he does all of his stuff on Telegram. And he talks about all the stuff that you see on the media and what's actually happening on the ground and how different they are. It's really
That's
interesting
crazy.
stuff.
Hmm.
It's interesting stuff. I won't take part, but I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna listen.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna
That's
get
fair.
all kooky myself, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
listen. It's really interesting. The guy's like, I'm in the Ukraine, and he moved to Ukraine before the invasion. You know,
Wow.
it's
Crazy.
really, really, really interesting stuff.
Hmm. So you mentioned Caribbean people. Kendra, you're from a small little island.
Don't
Have
let her
you ever
disrespect your island like that, Kiki. About small little.
small?
It is small and little and wonderful, so
There.
that's
Oh,
okay.
oh.
There you go. That's
No,
better.
okay. All
Yeah,
right. All right. All right. Let's calm down a bit.
it is
Just kidding.
wonderful. You've never been, so you wouldn't know, and I'm telling you. So it is a
Okay.
wonderful
I
place.
appreciate it. I
Bam.
appreciate that. I appreciate that. Have you ever been worried about dating your cousin?
There's two ways I could answer this question.
Oh, okay.
Um,
The only reason why I say this is because a rap artist in the States realized that she was engaged to her cousin.
What kind of cousin?
are they Caribbean? Are they from the Caribbean? Like what?
I don't know. I didn't get that far into it, but
Okay. I just wanted to know if there was some ties to, like, I'm just
yeah,
wondering if that's why you
yeah,
started
no.
off, or you were just using that as an example.
Hold on a second.
Using that as an example, because as Caribbean people, I feel like we should be scared that we're going to be dating our cousin at some point because
It's a very small place. That's a possibility. And you know
yeah,
what? Some 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, I mean, hey, there's a lot of jackets out there. And I'm sorry to say that, but it's when you really look at it in comparison to most places, everywhere in the
mhm,
Caribbean is small.
yeah, 100%.
Majority of the
Majority,
region, not
yeah,
all of it, but
yeah,
majority of it. So
hmm,
you know what I mean? But yeah. Have I ever been worried? I've joked around about it. I mean,
right,
again, when you grow up in a small place, or or you find out, oh, so and so has family over here, this person has family over here,
hmm,
then you're like, wait a minute. And it's not even just like one particular island.
right,
People have island hopped for decades. And
yep,
then you find out, oh,
yep,
you have family over in the Virgin Islands, you have family down in St. Lucia, you have family here, you have family in St. Martin,
hmm,
like all these different places. So I feel like it is a possibility, but
yeah,
hopefully you have some good elders, who are still around, and hopefully you have a good understanding of your family tree, and you can
yeah.
figure those things out.
Jeff, has that ever crossed your mind?
Okay.
Has that? Yeah, that's a question. Has that ever crossed your mind that when you're dating someone from the Caribbean, you're just like, I wonder if we're related in
Can I
some
tell
way?
you the truth?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. Y'all could judge me. I
Okay.
like if it's not my first cousin, then I don't care. I really don't.
That's
Like
fair.
if
Or your second. To me, second is still pretty close.
second,
This
put
is
it this way. Put it this way. You could be related to. You could be related to somebody.
Hmm.
Um, another black person. Think if you're Caribbean. Think about the slave trade.
yeah.
Right.
Your brother could have got dropped off at Trinidad, and you are in St. Kitts.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, we're from different islands.
Mm,
Watch this. Second cousin is a range of 2 to 6% shared DNA. 2 to 6%. Like that is a veritable stranger. Like genetically, that's a veritable stranger. Because you could literally have that by accident with somebody. When you think
right.
about how much has to go, how many different lineages it has to be for you to be like a second cousin to somebody. And if it's like third,
Right.
fourth, and fifth, it's literally zero. It's literally zero.
That's
Because
true.
I would like if you do you know anybody that's done ancestry DNA?
Yes.
And when you see how many places, like my cousin did hers, right? This is my first cousin.
Yeah.
She, when it said all the places like our DNA is from, and I only share, like, of course, like our grandmothers, our grandmother and grandfather. But it's like the Congo, Ghana, this, that, English, but our European, because our great great grandfather is a Scot, so it still has this little piece, this little percentage in there. Imagine you could be with a white person or an East Indian person, and you can go find out, like, if you went and really matched it up, you could be like 1% the same. So, like, I just remember reading about it, and not like I ever actively was like, hey, I date a cousin. But if I went to Grenada, which is a very tiny place as well, there's a chance, even if they're the other part of the island, there's a chance that we might end up being second, third cousins.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I wouldn't even business. It's like, oh, all right, whatever. Because
have you guys?
So hold on one second. Yeah. Like, marrying cousins has been a part of human history for up until, and in the Western, and it's the Western world that is like, oh my God, it's taboo. But cousins marrying is it's
not nothing new.
It's not anything new, and it's really still only the Western world. Because for a lot of people, it's like, if you marry a cousin, at least I know what your family's like. I know how you raised your daughter for my son. I know how you, like, there's all those things because we're family. Right. So it's almost encouraged in certain, for people from certain backgrounds. Whereas for most of us, we don't even want to date people we grew up with. Oh my God, they're like a brother. Like, we played together when we were kids. Oh, so I would rather try my luck with a complete stranger. Yeah. I made joke. I say, yo, listen, if dating didn't work for me out here, listen, I'm gonna go down to Grenada.
Don't kill me.
No, I'm serious. We're going down to Grenada.
Have you guys watched
my girlfriend's from St. Vincent, which is right beside Grenada. Afraid. Imagine you go and you do it. It's like you guys are like 40% shared. Like, what?
That would be crazy.
That would be crazy.
Have you guys watched Our Father on Netflix yet?
Yes, I have. That was crazy.
I haven't seen it.
Tim, watch it.
How about we let Tim watch it and then we discuss that, because that's And I'd like to have more energy to have that conversation as well.
Yes, no, 100%. We're gonna end it on that because we've hit our hour. And Tim, that's your homework.
Whoa. So here's my question to y'all.
Okay, what?
Uh-oh.
He's 6'3", has a dope job, he's super sweet, and all of that thing, and he's your third cousin. You saying no? You're gonna be like, oh my God. You know what I mean? Like, he's a third cousin, so it's not like you didn't grow up playing with him and thing like that. But you find out, like, it's like, hey, wait, no, I think our great grandmothers are sisters. Or brother, you know what I mean? But you know what I mean? Like, he's a great guy, Gary, everything. But he's your third cousin. Or your second cousin.
I don't know if I could. I don't know.
I wouldn't do second cousin.
I don't know if I could.
Third cousin? I don't know. But I also say never.
Right?
Until you find yourself in certain situations, you never know what you would actually do.
I pulled up
at 100%.
I pulled up the DNA shared thing. I just pulled it up, okay?
Okay.
Identical twin. It's 100% shared DNA. Parent to child, 50%, but 47.5% for father-son relationships. Your full sibling is 50%. Your grandparent is 25%, but there is a range of 17 to 34 depending on how, when you say them genes them strong because like
Right.
this one kid looks exactly or acts just like they might have inherited more. And remember, most of who we are is our genetics. Most of who we are is genetics. And wait,
I'm definitely heavy on the George side.
Kiki should have came for this. This is Kiki's.
I know. I'm just
But Kiki's in there. Yeah. We'll be done soon. Hold on.
No,
so
I'm good.
First cousin.
I'm chilling.
First cousin is 12.5% shared DNA. 12.5. Now I remember reading somewhere that the chances of birth defects, right? The chances of birth defects. Let's say because it has happened, like people separated, then it turns out that was their cousin or whatever. Birth defects go up. I think it's like your normal whatever is in the normal chance that something could genetically happen at birth or in during your whatever gestation or whatever or development. Right. It's something like 2% it could possibly happen. With a first cousin that goes up to 4 to 6%. But if it's a sibling or if it's a parent, it's of course that poor child.
That's That's just disgusting, first of all.
But when so in regards to by the time you get down to second cousin, it gets to the same as a stranger, your chances of birth defects. Because that's usually the thing.
Yeah.
Right? That's usually if nobody knows you and you guys are first cousins and nobody knows you're off in some place, no one's gonna y'all look kind of alike. Other than that,
right?
But if if you want to have children, that's
right. Interesting.
Because that's actually in places like Grenada has 110,000 people.
Right.
I don't know what the population of St. Kitts is.
Way less.
But you'd probably be pretty. You guys, if people started doing ancestry stuff in an island that's really small like that,
it will look like our fathers.
It gets pretty. The joke for Grenadians, everybody's
hilarious.
a cousin. That's the joke.
Yeah, I mean,
Trinidad's a little different. Trinidad's massive.
Yeah.
But for Grenada, it's kind of if we have the same last name, trace that thing back. If they're a Noel, if they're a Forrester, they're my family, period. And they're from Grenada, they're my family, period.
Yeah, but it could also be because I found out that I think it's Irish, and my great-grandfather had to change his last name so he can hide from the military.
Mm-hmm.
So, right? So I could find, I think it's a Bob, B-O-B-B, is supposed to be my actual last name.
Interesting.
So,
Danielle Bob.
Right?
Interesting.
So I was doing some, I know it seems weird how much I know about this, but if you guys know me already, the stuff I like to read and all that. But so there were these two brothers from Scotland that came, and their last name was Forster, Foerster, but it was changed to Forrester, right? That's I don't know why they changed it, but they were these two brothers. But actually, no, there was two brothers. But then there's another one, and he went to another island. These are all traders, right?
Interesting.
And they owned slaves, but the name somehow, for whatever reason, was changed to Forrester. Maybe just for, I don't know, for English purposes. I don't know.
Probably. So wait. So
but
those
all
two
of these
brothers
things are well documented.
Yeah. So
the transcripts.
Quick question.
Yeah.
So the brothers that changed their last name, and the one that went abroad, did he change his name as well?
No, it was that I don't know.
Okay. Because I'm just thinking.
The only reason why I know is because this is how my family's been traced.
Right.
there, but and then that's the last name of like my great grandfather, and I don't know if he's likely the son of these guys or the family of these guys. Like I don't know. I don't know how it works. So, and I definitely don't know what the other brother did.
Yeah, because I was just thinking if they change their name slightly, but it sounds the same, there could be like forcers that, you know what I mean?
But yes, and there could be forcers that are, their brothers are. And then we have to think about if some of these guys didn't have sons and they had daughters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And because it's like if you look at like my mom's cousins and them, a lot of them are very like that age group. They're very fair because of
Yeah.
And it's funny, like it was my grandmother was very dark, and they didn't want my grandfather to marry her because she was so dark.
Wow.
Yeah, but there's colorism in the islands. We know this.
Oh yeah.
That colorism in the islands. And then my mother married my father, who is also very dark. And so, ta-da!
Interesting. Yeah, there's a mixture in my family. Because when
you look at anything with my family and you see some of this is my uncle, and the guy's like clear as.
Yeah. No, he's not. Yeah. Yeah, because my grandparents from my dad's side are very light.
Yeah.
So, interesting.
We gotta let Kiki go rest.
Yeah.
I'm chilling, man. I'm listening. Oh, there's Tanya.
But yeah. So Tim, your homework is to watch Our Father.
Easy there.
So we can discuss it next week.
Is this a show or a movie?
It's like a mini series.
It's not even a mini series. It's like an hour and 45 minutes long.
Yeah. But watch it. And then we'll discuss.
Right, I can do that.
And then you'll see why I said Our Father in that little discussion. But yeah.
Okay, deal.
All right.
I'm trusting you.
So
This thing sucks, I'm
telling
you. It is jacked up. See, Tanya said it's so jacked up. It is jacked
up.
I'm
telling you.
By like
your mind will be blown.
By like number 30, you were like, whoa.
Yeah.
But
and at the end number, I was just like, what the hell?
And it kept going.
And it kept going. Tim, I'm telling you, watch it.
There's probably
Tim, have we ever steered you wrong?
I'll say no.
Tim, okay. Wait, you'll say no? So we have.
I ain't getting in between this.
Just.
All right.
We're talking as
just
a collective.
Prove me, like, just prove me.
We're talking.
Just, yeah.
All right, Tim. All right.
I'm gonna watch it, but I'm gonna put it on the 10-minute rule.
Yeah. Do it.
Do you guys know what my 10-minute rule is? I've talked to you guys about this.
I know the 10-minute rule.
I have the 5-minute rule and the 10-minute rule. I'm gonna give this the 10-minute rule.
Give it 10 minutes. I'm telling you, you'll be hooked.
I'll be riveted in 10 minutes.
10 minutes is a long time.
I'm telling you. Right. You'll be just like, what the hell? And you'll want to know more. I'm telling you.
Can I make a confession?
If you don't like it, you can call me and cuss me out.
We're talking about Our Father, confessions. I thought I was the one here who was raised Catholic. But anyways, let's go. Let's go.
I watched some episodes of Tiger King. I did.
Oh,
okay.
I did.
The first one?
Can't lie. I only know of the one that went crazy a few years ago.
Okay. Yep, there's another one that came out.
I feel like I need to let that off my chest.
That's fair.
I never
I have a question for you.
I never admitted this to anybody.
Was this a personal choice, or was there a little bit of influence behind the scenes?
There was influence. This is a couple years ago. I was at a friend's house.
Okay.
And they were like, "You have to watch it." I'm like, "Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me." They got me watching You, and You was jacked up.
You was so good.
You
Season 4 is coming.
It'll be interesting to see how they do season 4, but yeah.
So excited.
So then they used that
One of those
to
things
get me to watch. They used that to get me to watch Tiger King.
Mm.
And I was like, and I can't lie, it did, like, it kind of sucked me in a bit. I was like, this is a mess. Like, this is really jacked up. Like, this is, I didn't finish it. I did not finish it. But I did sit there and watch. I was like, okay. Like, I can see why everybody's losing their mind over this madness.
Mm-hmm.
So, I feel like a weight is off my shoulders.
Nice.
That's what we're here for, Tim.
Confession is good for the soul, for real.
It is.
So they
That's
say.
What we're here for.
So they say.
He's like, so they say, but you ain't hearing nothing from me.
Hey, I've gone to confession before. Haven't in a long time.
So we'll talk.
But
we can talk about that next week too.
We can all use a little confession, like Tim said.
Careful with that one. Oh, you know what? That's what we put it out there.
We'll talk about that.
You as a public service
It's confession.
not date.
Is it like Usher's confessions or like?
Huh?
Tanya's coming in with all the heat now in the last shower rain.
I said, is it like Usher's confessions or are we?
Wait, what kind of confession?
I think that people need to come and just bare their soul. You know, just bare their soul.
Here on
right here.
I don't know.
Right here.
That. Y'all might hear some things y'all don't want to hear. Tanya said, "I tell it to Jesus alone." Imagine if we're like, "Okay, guys, this is our confessional version of Let's Be Real YG." And then
the thing is called Let's Be Real. There should be a confession a week.
Hey, well, hey.
All right, you know what? Danny and
or
Kiki,
maybe it doesn't even.
Everybody has to have a confession. Everybody has to have a confession.
Yo, I know this thing about, I know about some stuff that's going on, and I just need to say it. And people just start coming on here to say.
Yo, listen,
crazy that we get. Jeez.
Tim, wait, wow. How deep do we have to go? Is this
whatever you feel comfortable with?
Interesting. Okay.
You better come with. I got homework. Right, I'm gonna watch this show.
Okay.
But you guys need to come with your confessions.
Okay. Okay. I can go real dark with this one.
I'm sure you can. But
I can go real dark.
I feel like most people can get pretty dark, but the question is, are they going to?
Come with. You will set the tone. If you want to go dark, go dark.
Danny is setting the tone?
No.
Wow.
You two will.
Wait, hold on a second. Isn't next week gonna be our last show before the summer? So
perfect way to go out.
There we go.
I just thought of that.
With all the weight off your heart.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a second. Our season finales are usually
the big one.
Usually pretty
Tell
fire.
You, come with a confession.
So everyone
it's good for you, Kiki, especially you.
Why me? What does that even mean?
Because, man.
Because
do you think
what's the reason
Kiki has done anything? She
must.
She's a nun. She's going. She's mentioned this many times. Kiki has done nothing.
I never said that.
I don't know, man. Still waters run deep.
Anyways.
All right. So
we'll leave it there. I don't know what you guys are talking about right now. But okay, everyone will bring a confession. Sounds like a plan.
Bring a confession.
I already did mine, so it's y'all too. Everybody was so great. It's so awesome
watched
to see you.
Tiger King.
Yay!
Then you're telling Danny to get as dark as she'd like to. Sure. All right.
Hello, Mom.
Hello, Miss June.
I missed it. What did she say? I can hear you guys, but I can't see it anymore.
Tanya said, Kiki, don't listen to them. Take it to the grave.
All right. Good advice from
oh my
T.
goodness.
No, man, don't listen to her. Don't listen to her. Listen to us. We care for you.
Mm-hmm. Kiki, we have your back.
I just, we want you to be walking around lighter.
Light.
I'm walking around.
The Tiger King is not a confession. That is no. That's like me saying I watched Housewives. the Real Housewives series.
Right, like.
Yo, I posted a thing back in the day, and I said, regardless of how bad things get, I'm never watching Tiger King. This is a big deal.
If you say so.
Okay. On that note, we are going to call it a night.
Let's just say we'll just wait and see what happens next week.
All right. Next week is our
leave it there.
Confessional.
But if anyone else would like to come on and confess, sorry, Danny, I cut you off.
Telling you.
No, it's fine.
Yes, Mom, bring your confession as well.
So on that note, it will be our season finale confessional on Let's Be Real.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
Too funny. All right. You guys enjoy. Is there anything happening this weekend, by the way?
It should be like an open discussion / confessional. Bring some hot topics next week.
All right. Let's do that.
To cap things off.
I'll be in Lake Louise this weekend.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Guys, we never even mentioned the Oilers winning. I'm sorry. I just needed
did they
to
win?
throw that in there.
I totally forgot they're playing today.
Yo, like, honestly, the Oilers are up 3-1 in the series. Tomorrow night, they could win and advance to the next round.
Win.
They are. I have not seen the Oilers play like this since my childhood. They're that good.
I was going to say, since ever.
Easy there. They went to the finals in 2006, but they didn't go like this. They went on the back of their goalie. Like, these guys have okay goaltending, but they're killers. They're really good. Anywho.
We'll see what happens. All right. Have a good night, everyone. Confessional next week. Enjoy your weekend.
Adios. Be safe as always.
Come, let us take the burden off your backs.
I mean, I'm a great listener. If people actually
listen to this team.
Oh my God. Bye.
I got your back. I really do. Have
a good night, guys. We're not listening to Kendra anymore. Good night.
Wow. What did I do? Oh my goodness.
Great listener.
I see how it is.
Okay. All right. Have a good night, guys.
Night.